All right, so next we need to talk about what happens when someone first gets there. So obviously you're a person, you know how to be a person. It's funny though, in particularly when you're a newer trainer, we have this like, I like to use the snake analogy thing, like it's probably more scared of you than you are of it. And that works for personal trainers and prospects as well. So remember that the person coming to see you thinks that you're not a human. Like they have this idea of what a personal trainer is, and they think that we're this like exercise freak that trains 14 hours a day and we eat perfectly and we're these perfect human beings in personal development, blah, blah, blah. And if they're coming in to see you, they obviously have something that they're having trouble overcoming in terms of an obstacle. So particularly if you're calling people that haven't been into the gym for a while, there's a little bit of guilt, there's a little bit of angst and anxiety around even being in the gym. So it's really important to settle that down and just be a person when someone comes in to see you. Understand that it's your role to make them feel comfortable. Usually in the process of making them feel comfortable, you'll feel more comfortable as well. So there's three main points that we've outlined here. So find 3 points of common ground, like go beyond the weather, try and find something. If you can stalk their Instagram or ask them about their day or what they do for work, or just find something that allows you to touch base with them. Pretty much rule number one for me is get a laugh before you actually go into any of the content. Right, so you want to bring down those walls, take away, like, when was the last time you went to a doctor's surgery and they made you laugh? Like, it doesn't happen. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We don't want this to feel like some kind of medical investigation into the person. You're trying to create a relationship, because relationships are what coaching is built on. The other tip is obviously matching their body language, their tone. So if they're leaning forwards, you're leaning forwards. If they're high D and they're very direct, you're high D and very direct. Learning to match and mirror people is a really useful skill. If you want to go away and just like look up more information on that, it's actually quite worthwhile. But building rapport in that initial phase is very important. Obviously, we talked about earlier, like making sure that you explain where you're at when someone comes and sits down with you. So first thing that always comes out of my face once we've done this is what's going to happen in this session. I don't work for the gym. I pay rent to work here. Today we're going to go through your consultation only. Next session we're going to go out and train, because I need some time to have a think about where you're at and put something together that's specific for you, and then work with that so it allows them to know what's going on. They're really clear. They're not checking their watch wondering when we're going to be going out into the gym, and it just keeps things a really smooth process. Moving on to the next is obviously the ESSA questionnaire. So before we jump into anything else, we want to make sure that we can actually train this person. And if there's any obstacles that's going to prevent them from doing that, we want to get to that now from a health standpoint. And it's a really easy thing to just unpack as well if there's anything in there. It's just like, cool, there's nothing in here that looks like you're going to die if we go train. Make a laugh out of it. And then, or if there is something, like, just unpack this for me. I just want to make sure we're all good to proceed. So you don't need medical clearances or anything like that before you start. So that's the initial part of the consult, and we're going to move on to a couple of secret weapons that we like to use to improve the quality of your consult process.